Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that I have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We're looking at The Amazing Spider-Man 316 from 1989 by David Michelinie and the one and only Todd McFarlane. I have done this video before. Years ago, I decided I'm gonna update it because I decided to start from 298 on up. And so when I originally did it, I started in 314 and I had skipped the early stuff. So I do have a Spider-Man playlist. Feel free to check that out. And Venom here has returned. Iconic cover. My goodness gracious, is this cover iconic or freaking what? Absolutely beautiful. Todd McFarlane, I miss his drawing. I really do. I really do. I understand. Dude's capitalist, wants to make toys. I get it. Make money. That's good. But you know what else is good? Drawing. And I really miss his art. God, it looks so beautiful here. I always thought the webbing, it's just Todd is so good. Look at this, the webbing. He just kayfabes it, man. That's awesome. All right, here we go. We have Venom in the sewers because everybody goes into the sewers. He's chasing this man that had seen him. Dead Meat is our title. David Michelinie and Todd McFarlane. Jim Salicrup is the editor. Tom DeFalco is editor-in-chief during this time at Marvel Comics. Grabs the guy and he's like, I'm not going to tell anyone what I saw you. And he says, your eyes lie, your mouth will follow. And so he grabs this poor little rat that's in there and it's struggling inside, but he removes the air and the rat dies. And he's like, I won't say a word. And he says, I believe you now. And then goes away here. And so, if you remember the previous issue, I do it like I mentioned. I have a playlist. He escaped the vault. And now he is in the sewers, waiting for his next step here. And he wants to get even. He wants revenge. And so love this part here. And Venom is so visually still to this day that what Todd did. So all right, so he changes back to Eddie Brock and he still has to work out. He wants to keep in tip top shape for the when he decides to attack. And I love this panel here. I love these short small borders here. And so now we are back to Spider-Man here. He's taking some pictures here. He's seeing this guy here that the cops are chasing. And he thinks the guy will have it, but sees that this guy is about to take he's going to kill the cop essentially. And he's like, all right. And so he uses his web, grabs it there and pulls it forward so it lands on him. And he's like, hey, you saved my life. How can I help you? And he says, well, you can forget I was here. And so he says, it's part of my ego remaining anonymous. But remaining anonymous is the only way I can make a living these days. What with J. Jonah Jameson acting weirder than usual, not buying photos with Spider-Man from anyone except that Nick Katzenberger. So during this time in Spectacular Spider-Man, we'll leave this here real quick in this beautiful image. The Chameleon was actually impersonating Jonah, and so it's kind of letting us know that there is a secondary story going around in Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, or I think during this time it had renamed itself to just Spectacular Spider-Man. But he's saying that Jameson basically is going a little too overboard in this vendetta against Spider-Man. And of course, it's because it's the chameleon. So, all right. And so he says not selling pictures really affecting his income here. Um, and so, anyway, so he is going to go back into the Bugle here. Man, McFarlane can draw absolutely beautiful. He does these great vertical panels, him and Frank Miller. And he gets in there and she has um, mail for them here, change addresses notices. And so she asks about Aunt, Aunt May, and then says my date is here, and let's see here. And so this is the photographer that Jameson buys from, and so they have a bit of a you know animosity toward it, and so um, anyway, so he calls Mary Jane and reports that another fashion shoot was canceled, and so what's going on? We will learn soon here. And they say, "Are you sure you're okay?" I love this with the intersecting thing here. She's great. And so, or that's so she says, and she says she reminds him, "You should know that." Bye. And so, her date is here, and then his spider sense goes off, and he doesn't know why it's going off, but it's because of him, and that is in the Spectacular Spider-Man here. So, he's a werewolf, and so here we have the black cat going to Peter's old apartment, and when she gets there, Venom is waiting for her. Oh my gosh, what beautiful art here! And realizes, that that was his old costume, but it's different now. So she goes and tries to fight him, but he is Venom. He is stronger, faster. She kind of gets the upper hand for a moment, but he uses that raw power here. And during this time, Spider Man was being done twice a month, and Todd didn't take time off. So you can see he is skimping on a little bit of the detail, mostly because dude's drawing 2 issues a month. So basically, for 3 months, he was doing 6 issues in just 3 months. So Todd pulled a lot of that. So she asked him, "Where's Spider-Man?" She doesn't know. She was looking for him and says, "Huh, yep." He, she's not lying, and says Parker's wife didn't know where he was either, and I found him before. I find him again, and of course she goes, "Wife," because she didn't know that Peter had gotten married, and so she goes to the old place just to say hi to the doorman, and then she gasps and says, "I just felt a chill." Of course, it's Venom following. And so Peter, during this time, is living with Aunt May, him and Mary Jane, because they were evicted. Like I mentioned before, I have a playlist. And so asks about Mary Jane. She's upstairs, and she's kind of cuddled here, and she says he's back. And they're like, "Venom, no, he's supposed to be locked." And so he calls in there. He's so that they don't recognize his voice here, and they let him know, yeah, he did. And so he's like, "He found us in Chelsea. He found us where we lived at the Bedfords. What if he finds us here?" And she says, "Don't worry, MJ. Venom won't have to find me because I'm going to find him." And so we've got a photocopy in the background. Again, dude is on a deadline. He is going to use a photocopy. Nowadays it'd be Photoshop. So he photoshopped this or photoshopped he photocopied that picture and then inserted a Spider-Man right on it. Beautiful, 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 beautiful image here. And look at this. And so he's looking for Venom, and just a lot of exposition here. And so he's can't find him. He's gonna go get his clothes, and of course Venom has been following him and lets him know. And he's like, "Yo, you finally found me." He's like, "Yeah, I've been following you for hours." And now he remembers the symbiote does not trigger his spider sense, so he never looked behind him here. Just amazing art here. And so you can see Venom gets him, and then Rakash as he throws him there. And so um, we're gonna kind of have a fight here. Venom is just so strong, and so he not only is Eddie strong, but Venom, of course, enhances his power here. And look at this. It just throws him a slab of meat. Venom is just like, whatever. Just amazing. And now he's covered him with the blood. This is where they drain the blood, and now he's covered for it. And it just freaks him out here. And he leaves. But of course, he had the change of address stuff, so he knows exactly where they're living. And here he says, "Thank heaven Venom still doesn't know where I live," but he does. And so, guess who's coming to dinner? And a lot of laughs. So, I know these issues kind of run quickly. I just give you the gist because it just really mostly we're here for Todd McFarlane's art. So, the story was the story. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but we're not here for that. We're here for Todd's beautiful art. So, Amazing Spider-Man 316 by David Michelinie and drawn by Todd McFarlane. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.